Bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck, oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin', welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Caroline, that's me, and welcome to another fun, riveting, exciting start to finish, cause we back with it, wig install tutorial, where we go from straight out of the box to giving straight out of the scalp. Bow. As you can tell, these are my favorite videos to do because I just be so excited. Like, since it's like getting colder these days, I've been wanting to do like a middle part bust down, like a jet black middle part bust down all the way to your crack because, you know, it's the season for that. Okay, like I literally just got back home and I saw this in my door and I was like, hey, it's time for another one. So just a little unboxing for y'all. I really hope I didn't just like flash you guys my whole address. This wig we're working with today is from Ashimary Hair Company. We got what we got. Ooh, we've got a 30-inch bust down, 30 inches. It smells a bit funny, I'm not gonna lie to you. But like I say, okay, this is a 13x6 frontal. It's definitely not giving the full 13x6. It's giving 13x4 and then 13x6 in the middle. Nothing new. But the hair, it's definitely giving that full 30 inches. Like, okay. I feel like when people just be shaking the hair, like, y'all look, ooh. I never get that because it's like, that's not, I feel like you can't really tell the quality of the hair by just shaking it at the initial. You gotta wear it and see how it tears to really see if it's good. And I believe I also got this in their fullest density. Whenever you're getting like really long lengths, it's best to get like the highest density as you can. I feel like the longer the length, the more thicker you want the hair to be for it to like look right. Especially 30 inches, I gotta get the highest density. I don't like scraggly ends. Even these ends, I'm sure I will still be giving them an even blunt chop to make it all nice and even and like thick at the ends. And the knots are not like pre-bleached, pre-plucked, none of that. Like it's fully, we gotta customize it from start to finish to get the look that we're going for, which I love. I believe it's just like a standard transparent lace frontal, and the knots are not like pre-bleached, pre-plucked, none of that. Like it's fully, we gotta customize it from start to finish to get the look that we're going for, which I love. So first thing I'm gonna do for customization is I'm gonna turn this into a jet black wig. Like right now the color is more like a 1B, like a natural black with some brown in it. But for the look we're going, we need for the bust down effect, it needs to be jet black. And I don't really like dyeing my wigs jet black because the whole process is so messy, but I feel like I found a way to like do it without making a mess, well, reducing the mess. So the first thing I'm gonna do is dye her jet black. Let's just use these simple Revlon hair color. They're from Walmart, they're like $4, and this is the soft black. I don't know, I'm just too scared to go for the full jet black. Jet black, it's super dark. I feel like it's really dark on my face. So I like to use the soft black versus like the number 1, which is the jet black. That one's like black, I don't know. I'm gonna be doing the watercolor method for this. So first I have like starting off with some boiling water. Now to help prevent or try our best to prevent the lace from getting black or the knots from getting black from dipping it in the boiling water solution. So that's like the cons to the method being so easy. It is very less risky on your knots. I'm going to be going in with like this got to be spray and spraying like layers of it to coat the lace. You have to like spray everything top to bottom, but mainly want to spray down here with the knots. And then the lace where like it's gonna be laying on your head. You don't want the lace itself to also turn black. And this is just the first layer. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting an even coat. Now we're on layer number 2. Really make sure we're getting those knots. Okay. Your lace should start to get nice and crunchy. And you know, I'm using Got2b, but make sure you're using like some big old cheap can of hairspray. Any hard hold hairspray that you have, use that. Don't use your Ebon lace because That's too expensive to be spraying coats like this. I'm gonna do one more, a 4th layer, just because I got it like that, you know? Better safe than sorry, I always say. That is my policy when it comes to hair. So let's get into this watercolor method. I have this really large white bowl. I don't mind staining. Got to use something that you don't mind damaging in the long run. And I like to just use the instructions as normal for each dye box. I just mix up the developer, give it a good shake, and pour it right into the bowl. I ended up using 2 boxes in total. And I'm going in with my boiling hot water and pouring that on top of the dye to make sure everything is properly mixed together. I like to use a mixing brush and just swirl everything to get a what's it called, a cohesive mix, so I don't have any patchy color going on. I like to dip as much as the hair without the lace getting in there first, and I keep like dipping and brushing the hair through just to make sure that every piece of hair is getting color and there's no like dry spots in between the wig that's missing any color. I just keep dipping up and down. I keep doing this for about like a good 5 minutes until I feel like the hair, besides where the lace is properly saturated with color, and then I go ahead and just confidently dunk the whole thing. I was a little bit nervous, not gonna lie to you, but that's why we use the hairspray, because it's gonna help prevent the lace from staining. We don't want the lace to stain. Of course, the knots are gonna stain, which is why it's better to do this before you bleach the hair, because if you bleach the hair first and do the coloring, you're gonna like ruin everything you did. So now that I've fully dunked the whole hair in there plus the lace, I let it sit in there for another 10 minutes, and then that's why I'll go ahead and wash it out. Guys, I was today years old when I realized that you're not supposed to shampoo out the dye. I just finished reading the box instructions for this, and it says after you dye it and stuff, you just keep rinsing it out till the water turns clear, and then you add the conditioner. I've been shampooing out my black hair, like my hair after I dye it, for years. You learn something new. Did the water run clear? No. Am I gonna proceed? Yes. Can I see the water? Water bills are expensive these days, okay? I can't be running it till it turns clear. It will be here forever. Now I'm gonna go in with the conditioner that it comes with. Normally I would use this one conditioner I really like. It's link it on the screen, but I am out of that conditioner, and it's a really great like silicone treatment. Since I don't have any of that, and the only conditioner I have, I'm gonna use it just to not waste products. They give it to you for a reason. But y'all can see those little black dots at the base of the lace. They're even darker now because they definitely got dyed darker. We need to bleach them. We're gonna be going in with some bleach, like a bleaching solution. Bleaching those knots is gonna make it like a more lighter color, make it look like a brown, neutral, like give it like your scalp color. So that way it looks like the hairs are coming out of a scalp, not these like black dots. Because when you look at someone's scalp, they don't have black dots in them. It's just the hair like kind of like disappears into their scalp. So bleaching it with some bleaching powder is gonna give that disappearing into your scalp effect, especially with these knots being so dark. The bleaching we go. To bleach my knots, I like using this specific bleach from Caro or Ion. This is the most effective and like powerful bleach that I have found in my experience. I like it too because it has like a grayish purple tint, which really helps with the undercolor, like the undertones you get from bleaching your hair. To mix my bleach, I like to go with 40 volume developer, especially for this with the knots being really dark. I need the highest volume of developer to really lift that dark color to a more lighter blonde brown tone to mimic our skin. If the hair was like a brown shade, I would go with like a 30 volume. The higher the volume of the developer, the higher lifting it's gonna have on the knots. Personally, I just suggest using about 30 to 40 volume. If you have really dark jet black knots like this, definitely go with the 40 because it's gonna be the strongest to help lift that dark color. Now for mixing, I realized a 1-to-1 ratio is the best for me. So that means I would use 1 scoop of powder, and that same scooper I end up using the same amount of developer. This gets me the right consistency for my solution, because I realize also what really messes you up when you're bleaching is getting the wrong consistency in the mixture. If it's too runny, it's going to run into the knots, but if it's too thick, it's going to end up sitting at the bottom of your lace and not actually getting into those knots on the top. You want to have something like this that's nice and spreadable and creamy, but at the same time it's not like chalky and draggy and too thick. I always imagine like a soft buttercream icing or like melted butter, but whenever I flip it over, I always like a flipping over test of my mixing brush. When I flip it, it can't drip off. If it starts to drip a little bit, that means it's too runny. I need to add just a little bit more powder to make it thicker. You really got to work on hitting that sweet spot between it being a little bit creamy and spreadable enough for it to seep past the bottom of the lace and hit the top of the knots, but not too runny where it's now dripping and hitting the hair itself. Now that I have the right consistency, we can go ahead and apply this bleaching solution to the knots. I like to do this like my wig inside out. People put their wig inside on a mannequin head and do that, but I find that I always end up making a big mistake this way. Just flipping it inside out like this is my best way because I can kind of like control and see where the hair is. I use a popsicle stick to apply my bleach instead of using the mixing brush that y'all saw earlier. I feel like a popsicle stick, I just have a lot more control. With the actual mixing brush, it gets on too much too fast because you need enough pressure to push the knots, to push the bleach into the lace where it covers up the knots at the top, but you don't want too much pressure like I said earlier because we don't want to push it so much into the actual hairline. So using a popsicle helps me like kind of pretend that I'm buttering toast and use that type of pressure. Another thing that I feel like is worth mentioning, when you are applying and mixing your bleach, do not use any types of metal, no metal spoons, metal knives. I used to use metal knives when I started bleaching to mix my solution, but I realized the metal, it does react with the chemical processing here. So you can use plastic, glass, silicone, but no metals. Not too much pressure where it's now bleeding into the hairline. I feel like with more practice, I kind of learn how much pressure is needed. But I always like to start off like a light hand first, because you can always apply more pressure later than going in heavy and now you're doing troubleshooting. The hair is wet, be a little more careful with this bleach because the bleach is like gonna run easier. I feel like the hair is gonna absorb it more. Okay, I'm gonna flip it back this way because now it's getting awkward to get it in there. I don't want to like start putting too much pressure. I've fully covered the knots up, but now I like to like go in like this gently and kind of like part the hair open to see if the bleach like seeped through to the top and like those black dots are being covered up. Push it hard and you can go back and push it. And if your knots are really big on your wig, then you have to like kind of have to do that. The knots on this wig are not too big, and since the hair is wet like I was saying earlier, I feel like the knots got fully covered without me having to do too much. And with some foil paper, I'm going to put that on the underneath section. I also put some on top. I put foil to help trap in the heat, to help the process faster, and to also make sure it's processing even because heat is a catalyst in this reaction. #science. When it comes to timing, I never have a set time to give because each wig, each knot process differently depending on how dark, how big, what process has been done to the hair. It's going to be different for each one, but I always just say set a 15-minute timer interval and keep checking on those knots every 15 minutes. Leave a timer because do not forget about it. It's so easy to forget about it. I forget about my wig sometimes. I come back and check on it every 15 minutes to see if it's lifted to the right shade that I want it to lift. The diagram kind of showing you the stages of colors that the hair goes through when I say lifting. So right now we're at level 1, the jet black on the knots. I like to go for more of a level 9. You want to kind of go for according to your skin tone color. The fairer you are, the lighter you're going to want your knots to be because your skin tone, your scalp color is much more lighter. And the darker you are, you don't have to let it sit for too long. You can stop around level 7 or 8. This is how the lace is looking. I mean, the knots are looking after a good 45 minutes. Try not to let the bleach sit on for longer than an hour max, especially if I'm using 40 volume developer because that's the highest volume and I don't want to damage the knots and cause shedding in the long run because bleaching your knots is a chemical process and it does weaken the bond in the hair and it weakens the hair and causing shedding throughout time. So keep that in mind. 45 minutes of processing later, I go ahead and just wash out the bleach and I just go ahead and make sure I'm scrubbing it and getting everything out. You gotta wash it to really stop the whole processing. And you can always tell that you did a good job of bleaching your knots if under the cap is giving bleach. You can see that it's like an orange color under your cap. That's how you know you've bleached the knots. And of course on top, whenever you part the hair, it's giving scalp. As y'all can see, it's looking a lot more the scalp than before when we just dyed the knots jet black and everything was just dark. Even though this might look good to you, it still get a little bit of a orangey undertone to me, and that's what happens naturally when you're going from black to a blonde color. You do surpass a undertone that's yellow and orange, and I don't like leaving this yellow undertone on my lace because it just gives like an orange scalp, and I don't have orange scalp. It's brown and neutral. So I like to go in with a mixture of purple and blue shampoo. These two pigments are going to be great for canceling out the orange and the orange and yellow undertones. One does one thing, the other does another, so I just learned to mix them together to get the mixing power. Now that the product has been washed out, you can see that the knots are a lot less orange and just giving Donald Trump. It's now brown neutral color like my scalp, and we are done with the bleaching process. I'm just going to go ahead and just properly wash out the hair of shampoo, dyes, and all of that. I shit y'all not, it is 6 a.m. in the morning. Yes, as you can see in my bonnet and pajamas. I have really bad insomnia. I had really bad insomnia and I was working on it, you know. At one point I was medicated for it with Ambien, stopped from Ambien, got back to sleeping naturally, a little melatonin here and there. But today, I just can't sleep. Maybe I'm just excited for this install. Maybe, I don't know what it is. Or maybe I'm just losing it. Either way, I was like, instead of me just scrolling through TikTok and being unproductive, let me get back to my bust down. Let me show y'all her. Purr. And it's honestly like almost fully air dried. Like, ooh, look at her. One thing I'm getting really good at is bleaching my knots. Like, y'all see these knots? It's giving scalp. It's giving, we can see the part. It's giving Moses. Okay. And the hair, it's jet black. The lace doesn't look like it dyed. It got like tinted, so that's good. This hair is giving very thick and full. You can always tell the true density. I feel like straight hair when you first get it always looks so thin because like it's processed really straight. For you to see how thick it is for real, you gotta wash it, because now this hair is like super full. It's giving that full 250% density. But next what we gotta do is pluck this wig. I don't know how long I'm gonna be up to do this. I feel like my goal is to pluck this and style it, take a nap, and then install it later when I wake up in the afternoon, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wake up at like 3 p.m. or something, but such is life. But okay, let's get into plucking. I'm so hyped for this. Since I didn't have any more conditioner left after I washed the hair from bleaching the knots and everything, I let it sit while it was wet. I think I was trying to show that clip and the camera was also dying. Life. But I let it sit in this leave-in conditioner. So I just put this leave-in conditioner on it while it was still like towel dried, and that's what it's been air drying. So like it's air dried with the leave-in conditioner in it, because I just want to have some like type of conditioner in it to help soften it. I'm really excited for this video. I feel like I'm trying out new products too. I bought this one product I got from the TikTok shop. They convinced me. It's like a silkening in a mist. Probably just made your hair really silky and soft. So we're gonna be testing that out later, but okay, now we can get to the plucking. Plucking time. So plucking is one of those things I feel like visually makes more sense to explain instead of verbally, but as always, I will try my best to explain to y'all verbally. I'm going ahead and I'm showing you guys right here that I have the center marked on the wig. The center is really important for me, even if I'm not doing a middle part. Knowing where the center is really important, because I like to align that center of the wig with the center line on my canvas head, because when you're plucking, you don't want to unintentionally pluck the center. If you unintentionally pluck the middle part, it just looks weird. I save that for last, and having the middle just lets me kind of like work in sections. Now once I have the middle parted out for me, I go ahead and just go with my T-pins. And these T-pins, I get them from the beauty supply store, get them from Amazon, whichever, and just stick them onto the canvas head and make sure the lace is pulled out nice and taut, no no rippling, no like twisting of the lace. The lace is pulled out nice and flat all around. Going in with my hot comb on the highest degree, which is 500. I like it to be really hot because I want to really press those knots and like I guess the root of the hair upward. This is really essential before you start plucking. You want to press everything up so you can really see that hairline. You see how now the hairline is becoming a lot more apparent? That's because I'm really taking my time to push all of the hair upward so I can really see what I'm doing. Through the wig like butter. And that's because it's nice and hot. And I'm really using the back part of this hot comb, this thick part right here, to really press those knots. It's the thick part of your hot comb that's doing that pressing. These combs, they're just here to separate. You gotta like comb it, right? And then use that back part to really press those knots. Like you see that? So we want to press those knots up. I would like to do it on one side first so I can like have the separation. Part this part of the way. Like I said, we don't want to part another part. Oop. To pluck, I like to use this Revlon Diamond Slant Tip Tweezer. It's the one I felt like works the best for me and it's the most long lasting because tweezers do dull out over time. Here I just want to show you guys how I pluck. I pluck like in a dragging back motion. Like I'm dragging that tweezer backward on the hairline. I'm not doing it up and down like I'm yanking out a chin hair. So keep that in mind. And you also want to make sure you're putting enough pressure and pulling those knots out from the roots. I don't start down here in the beginning of the hairline. You want to protect this part of the hairline. It's sacred, especially if your wig comes a little bit pre-plucked like this. You first few sections in the front. Says I never pluck like the line up here. Like this is like your new front line. So avoid plucking up here when you part. And that's something that I used to do. It should make sure your hairline look more receded. And I see what she's saying. So now when I part, same thing, not starting in the middle. Pluck, skip a column, pluck, skip a column. That's like kind of like the basics to the pluck skip concept. But just start off like plucking, skipping, right? Because I'm filming, I'm having a hard time getting a good grip. I like to have a good grip of the knot of the hair, have it pulled tight to really have the knots come out like cleanly, kind of like when you're waxing, you have to like apply pressure to the knots. Same thing. The key to plucking is making sure the knots come out from the roots. Do not leave those little tiny dots behind. Now that I've done that down the line, I want to start doing pluck skip, but like now in the spaces, see how there's a gap here? Because like I plucked here, skipped here, so there's like a, you know? Now I'm gonna pluck in between where I skipped. So here, I'm gonna pluck, skip that gap, pluck in between there, but not in the front, if that makes sense. So I'm like breaking down the sections into more smaller striations. That isn't even a word. Y'all, it's 6 a.m. Give me grace. I'm gonna be plucking for a minute in this section because the middle part goes down so far back. And I feel like a problem I've noticed with my plucking is that I don't pluck farther back of the hairline. And I feel like I want to start doing that more. I feel like it really makes a difference. I've been plucking too much in the front. So then now I'm like taking my tweezer higher up. Like I'm taking it higher up. Like back into the wig. I'm not like down here. You know you're getting those knots out from the roots whenever you see like one orange knots coming out when you're plucking the hair, and like you see clear gaps with no knots in between. Okay, before I start to think I'm really eating it up, let me push all the hair back and see what we're looking like. I can't get too confident with plucking, even me. Okay, check this section out. It's looking pretty good. Just this section. Press everything back. I really like this conditioner that I used. I feel like it like the hair is so like smooth and sleek. Like it feels like I have like hair wax in it, but I don't. That's that Dominican hair product for you. I'm eating. But now I'm gonna like lightly pluck. I feel like I should like keep going a little bit further back. So yeah, I'm gonna part out some more hair. Yeah, if I don't go further back enough with my wigs. So I'm gonna part out some more. Press everyone back. So you know like the knots are just like standing up straight and even. Plucking neatly too is really important for like a neat overall finish. I'm trying to like apply tension, having my hands out here, but also let y'all see what I'm doing. Because applying tension is how I kind of like make sure I'm not making a hole, because these knots are a bit tough to pull up. I feel like I'm definitely plucking holes in this wig with how aggressive I'm yanking these knots out. Like, they just don't want to come out. I need to be careful. Like, I'm definitely making holes in this wig. Yikes. Alright, let's push everyone back to the front. See what we're working with. Check it out. Oh yeah, that looks a lot more like seamless. Don't know if y'all can see. Slightly pluck the front. Same thing, just where it looks like you need to break it up a bit. Don't get too crazy here. There's no reason. I'm not really gonna pluck the front, I'm just gonna pluck up here a bit. And that honestly feels good enough for me for this section, because less is more when it comes to plucking. If I want to pluck more when I'm installing it, I will. I want to start like a safe space, but this looks pretty good to me for this section. And I want to do the other half of this side. And I'm just doing the same exact thing. Okay, so this is what we're working with at the moment. And even, I don't know if this is even enough because I want to do a widow's peak. I feel like I should pluck further back even more back here. Not say, but I feel like this is good enough to start. I'm gonna start, just call this a stop and go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Really went in with this plucking. I wanted a super natural hairline, and this is about how much hair I took off. It was a lot, but funny enough, I felt like it still wasn't even enough in my opinion. Now I'm just going in and cleaning up the hairline. I like to really prep my hair on my wig head before I install it. I feel like prepping your hair on your wig head, like taking that time, really makes the install one quicker and faster, and the wig just comes out a lot more flatter and more just professionally done when you do it on your wig head. If you want a really flat looking install, the best thing to do is take your time and mold it with some styling mousse. Here I've got some mousse that I'm just drenching the top of the hair with, and I'm taking my time to just like mold it in the way that I want it to look when I have it on my head. So I'm going in, cleaning up my middle part, and I'm brushing all the hairs and like just literally pressing the hair down. So this way, once like the mold has dried, your hair is going to be like super flat. I feel like it comes out a lot flatter than you having to go in with your hot comb section by section. Because you don't have styling mousse, I would suggest that you go in with your hot comb section by section and press that hair and the roots out flat. Just going to give the ends a little trim because like a good blunt end. And this is the Lightener. I got this from Ulta a long time ago. It was like on sale for $50, and it's honestly one of the best straightening flat irons. I don't use it for curling, but for straightening like long sections of hair, because it has this like teardrop built to it. It does its job. And of course, you want to go in with a rat tail comb, the janky one, a better one, to help chase the hair down. So I'm gonna try my best to do small sections. I get really lazy when it comes to straightening hair, but the smaller the sections you do, the better it's gonna look. So try to be patient. I'm gonna go in with this Cheese Silk Infusion Serum a little bit, because this silken mist, it's not added the right amount of shine that I like to add, and I really like the I feel like it's like making it straight, but I don't know if it's really making a big difference. I feel like I could get the same results if I was just using the serum. Like if anything, it like kind of like makes the hair a little bit crunchy at first, but then like it goes away. And then to make sure the hair is nice and straight and flat, I'm using a hot comb to really press those roots and really go through it. This is how you get you a real sleek, straight wig. Okay, we're going for the sleek look. Figure it out. The blueprint to get it right, I did this side. This side like is a lot more sleek. So this is what I'm doing. Basically, it's like before. I think I found the code. Crack the code to silky bone straight hair. First, I'm going in with a little bit of that cheese serum. I'm only putting it like in a mass amount. I'm not putting it section by section. Like this whole part, I'm gonna put it all on there. I feel like I like this serum a lot. Like it's like giving it nice shine. Going with that silky, the spray it from top to bottom, generous amount, squirts. And then now the key is to brush it through, comb it through with the rat tail comb to make sure it's like all evenly distributed and there's no knots, no tangles, nice and straight piece. And then I get a nice clamp and I take the rat tail comb, I place it under the hair. Ooh. And that's gonna like what makes the hair straight, and the flat iron is just gonna follow her down, like attached. It go real nice and slow. Y'all see that? Oh yeah. Spritz, 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 spritz. Last piece. I just know this install about to eat. Oh my god. Whenever I spend all this time prepping the hair like this before I even install it, that's when the install eats the most. Now press everything nice and flat. It's finally installation time. Like, 30-inch bust down middle part bound. Like, oh, finally. I feel like what keeps me getting through the long prep is knowing that the install is gonna eat. Cause man, the preparation, this is such a simple style, but there's so many little steps that really will take it there, as you can see. But all right, we're getting close to finally getting this wig on our head. Next thing I need to do is prep my hair itself. Okay, first I need to push these edges back and out of the way and using edge booster to just push everything back to give me a nice clean canvas to work on, especially since I'm not like doing like a bald cap or anything. My bald cap is just getting my head nice and neat. And that's really it for prepping the head. Okay, that's it. Now we're gonna tint this lace for it to be my skin tone. This is a transparent lace wig, and transparent lace works best for like lighter skin tones. But even if it was like HD or whatever, HD is like the best like universal lace for all skin tones. Like if you're darker skin tone, you wanna get a good lace, look for HD. But regardless of what lace that I have, I always make sure I tint my lace with my foundation. That is my exact skin, well, like blends in like perfectly on my forehead. People usually tint their foundation like after like over. I don't like doing that. I feel like it like mixes in with the spray and everything and just makes it look messy. So I prefer to do it before. And I like to give it a chance to dry. Cut off this lace in the back. It's just there. Clean any residue off my forehead. These days I've been realizing like having my head clean, like wiping it off first, really makes a difference in how well and how long the spray I'm gonna use lasts. Because even my skincare be interacting with the spray. It's almost time. I just get so excited for the end result. Like, that's what gets me through it. Okay. Ooh, oh yeah. Oh baby, baby. It's gonna eat. It's gonna eat. Y'all see that? It's I don't know, I get a dopamine boost when I'm doing my hair. It's like, okay. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is cut around the excess lace on my ear. I'm just gonna like trace around my ear shape. And part that out. Ooh. There we go. Other side. Ooh. And I have the clips attached to the side of my braid to anchor it, and that's really like holding it down. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the lace, and I always cut in sections. Sections just makes it a lot easier to cut the lace. Like trying to lay it all down at once is ridiculous. And I just kind of cut sections like here, 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 and there. Those are my standard sections. Sometimes I'll cut it smaller. For this side, I think I will. Like I just cut it based on like how like the hairline goes in and out. But sometimes this one, like the sides be needing like a little smaller, even smaller section. To cut off the lace, we're using a brow razor. Why? Because that is the only way we're gonna get the most natural looking lace. Because when you use scissors, you tend to get like a blunt cut, and that blunt cut is just gonna like leave like a harsh line of demarcation on the lace, making it a lot harder to blend. So using a razor gets like a raw cut to it. To lay our lace, we're using the Ebon lace spray. This is the keratin plus biotin one. I just like this one specifically. I feel like it's been low-key helping grow my edges back, not gonna lie. Full review coming soon, but this is a glueless spray. It's not actual glue. It's like a stronger hairspray that's made for your lace. Spray that underneath. Rub it all in. Get everywhere the lace gonna stick. For the sides, I always pull out some hair to like give me like a bit of an anchor, because the sides be difficult. They need extra reinforcements. And now we press it down with our flat iron and rat tail comb combo. I'm telling you, on these sides, I want to stick. Sometimes, like right here, it's gonna lift, so I gotta go back in, spray it again. Gotta be patient sometimes. I'm telling myself that. Spray on top sometimes. Okay, see, better yet, you don't see that lace. T. Yeah, I'm just gonna speak with female. I'm just gonna shut up for now. If I want to speak, I'll do like a voiceover, because I feel like at this point I've been talking y'all's ears off. Some of y'all don't like when I talk too much. I'm just trying to give you what's important. But okay, I hear you. What I do want to do is pull out a bit of a widow's peak situation, because it comes down a bit too far. It's already in a widow peak, but like reduce the hairline a bit, because it's a bit too, it's coming down too short on my own forehead. Ooh. I was trying to yank it out aggressively. See, I told y'all these knots in this wig are so strong. I was trying to yank it, think it was gonna come out. Almost broke my wrist. Ooh. Alright, now I'm gonna use some of this melting spray just because I have it, just to help fix some of that, what's it called? Some of like the white cast I'm getting. And that's just the white cast from the lace lifting. I could go ahead and just spray more of the same Evan back on there, the blue one, but I want to use this because I bought it. It's got like, it's just lifting. I really don't know to baby hair or not to baby hair. Let's put some baby hairs in. I just want to see how it's gonna look. I feel like it's just so boring. Baby hairs is like the personality. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw myself a little semicircle. Because if I don't like it, I can just put them back. Ugh. Cut them down. And to swoop the baby hairs, I'm gonna go in with this ECOSTYLER gel. But now my baby hairs, instead of like putting it like right on it, I like to just like use a less amount. That makes sense. And then we just, you know, swoop them. I gotta spray it down so it'll like lay flat and hold its shape for now. Like a little rough draft. I'm gonna make it look more neat later. I'm just trying to bring out a small amount, and it helps to just spray it like in between, so that way you don't have to like hot comb it to lay flat. And I have to cut the baby hairs like a tapered way, so it's like going from like shortest to longest, so like at an angle. The shorter the better with the baby hairs, but sometimes I gotta like cut it long. I have a tendency to cut it too short. Just put the edge on top of it, so that when I'm like saturating the whole hair with it, I want to still keep it light. I like the cuticle scissors too when it comes to cutting stuff, because like it's so small and sharp. You know how like your makeup brush is always missing when you're doing your makeup? That's me, my edge control brush. It is always missing. The edge is on this side. That looks so much better. And it's really a combination of like me using my finger to like press where I want the hair to stay, and then like swooping the brush to like swoop the rest. And that's why it's important for your lace to not be lifting. When the lace is lifting, you try to like swoop the hair back into the hair and the lace is lifting. It makes it so hard. It just looks better with the baby hairs, y'all. I'm sorry. Like, it just has more character. Like, it just looks more, I guess people have a preference. Don't get me wrong, like, I liked how it looked at the baby hairs. That was like, meh. I feel like I was doing that for the people. It wasn't me. Okay, so that's the rough draft for the baby hair. I want to like let it lay down, and then I'm gonna like pluck it and make it a little more thinner. Cause I know they're like a little bit thick right now, but you gotta like let the hair set first before you try to perfect it. I feel like trying to perfect it while like the hair's not setting just makes it stressful. I'm just trying to pull out some hairs that don't belong. Elastic band back on. Really let the baby hairs set. Let the style sit. Okay, now while the baby hairs are chilling, we're gonna finish pressing off this hair. I'm gonna go in with this wax stick. Wax sticks are just great for like smoothing away flyaways and really like silking that hot comb press. This is a new one I've been trying. I like this one because I feel like it's not as greasy as the other one I used to use. And then we're just gonna go in and same thing with that thick old back press slowly to the hair down. Like what? Y'all see that? Flat. Same thing, take your time while pressing through. I like my roots to stand up, so I go under like this. Use the back to lift it up. I like the roots to be up. And then with the roots pushed up. Now this way. Oh, be careful. The direction that you hot comb the hair really is important for the shape you're going for. So be mindful of that. I'm just trying to like press it to have a shape around my face the way that I like it. Of course, putting it smack dab in the middle to really press that middle down. The middle has to be flat too, especially like an empty space in your braiding pattern. Like you have a middle part braiding pattern like that. Pressing is gonna really like get it to get flush in between like that. Wax to take care of little flyaways. The mousse that we did earlier really did its thing. See, it eats with the baby hairs. Like, come on, like, it just has so much more attitude with the baby hairs. Like, this is a bust down. The baby hairs makes it a bust down. Like, ooh. Let me show y'all the back. Get into it, get into it. I hope it's not like crumpled up. in the back. Y'all see that? Can y'all see? Let me pull it back for y'all. It ain't, don't it? Like, ooh. But okay. It's time for bed. I don't want to take this wig off. I want to keep it on so bad. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't want to take it off, but it's okay. Okay, it's time for me to go to bed. I'll see you guys in another one. And please try this. Please, y'all, get yourself a middle part jet black bust down. Okay, I hope if you've seen anything from this video, that is to go ahead, get up and get yourself that 30-inch middle part bust down, because I feel like a whole new girl. Ooh. But okay, let me go to bed. I'll see you guys in another one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye.